Welcome to the place where excuses end and growth begins. This isn't just another motivation channel. This is where truth meets action. Here we don't chase likes. We chase legacy. We fall, but we fall forward. We embrace struggle because we know ease is a greater threat to our purpose. We stop confusing movement with progress. We sharpen our gifts in the dark so we're ready when the light comes. And we don't just dream. We plan, we move, we build. If you're tired of surface-level inspiration and ready to live with discipline, direction, and depth, you're in the right place. Every video is a wake-up call, a challenge, a reminder that time waits for no one, and your story isn't over yet. So tighten your focus, drop the noise, and lean in. This is where greatness gets to work. You're going to fail. That's not a maybe, that's a promise. Life's going to knock you down hard. You're going to stumble, mess up, make the wrong choices, lose things, lose people. That's part of the deal. That's part of living. But here's the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't. When they fall forward. See, when you fall forward, you fall with direction. You're still moving, you're still learning, you're still pushing. Most people, they fall and freeze. They let that failure sit on their chest like a weight, and they carry it around for years. Regret, shame, fear it builds up. And they stop reaching, they stop trying, and slowly they start existing instead of living. You ever seen someone fall backward? They lose control. They don't see what's behind them. That's how most people treat failure. They let it blindside them. But if you fall forward, you fall with intention. You hit the ground, but your eyes are still on what's ahead. Your arms are stretched toward what's next. And that is how you grow. Now, I'm not talking about reckless mistakes. I'm talking about effort. I'm talking about taking the shot, knowing you might miss. I'm talking about doing the things scared, because you'd rather take the hit moving forward than live your life stuck in what if. People ask, what if I try and fail? And I say, what if you don't try and succeed at nothing? The real risk is staying still. The real risk is playing it safe. Safe is dangerous. Safe is quiet failure in slow motion. It's sitting in a job you hate for 20 years because you were scared to bet on yourself. It's staying in a relationship that doesn't feed your spirit because you thought being alone was worse. Safe is the enemy of growth. When you fall forward, you stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to chase your dream. You understand that failure isn't final. It's just feedback. That job you didn't get, it showed you what you need to improve. That relationship that broke you, it showed you where your boundaries were missing. That rejection, it built your resilience. Too many people let failure define them. They say, I'm not good at that. After trying once, you think mastery happens overnight. You think purpose comes without pressure. You think greatness walks into your house and hands itself to you. No, you chase it, you earn it. You fail and then you fail better, and then one day you stop calling it failure. You start calling it growth. You know what's real. Pain, disappointment, rejection, it all comes, but you can't let it paralyze you. You've got to get up with your face dirty, with your heart bruised, and say, all right, let's try again. You fall 7 times, stand up 8. That's not a cliche. That's survival. That's evolution. That's how you become who you're supposed to be. And let me tell you something. There is power in the fall. There is clarity in the dirt. When you've hit the bottom and survived, there's not much left to fear. When you've been humiliated and still showed up, you start walking with a different kind of fire. That's when people start seeing the real you. That's when you stop being polite with your dreams. That's when your purpose gets louder than your pain. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving if you're gonna fall. And you will make sure you fall forward. At least then you're still chasing something. At least then you're growing. At least then you're still in the fight. So fall, but fall forward. You think struggle is your enemy. No, it's ease that'll destroy your purpose. People run from pain like it's the devil, but what they don't realize is comfort is the real trap. Comfort is the silent killer. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and that whisper sounds like you've done enough. When you haven't even started, it sounds like you deserve a break. when you haven't earned a moment's rest. And the more you listen to it, the softer your edge gets, until one day you wake up and you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Struggle, that's the forge, that's the fire that sharpens your blade. Struggle shows you who you are when the world ain't clapping, when the lights are off and the crowd is gone. See, pressure creates diamonds, but only if you don't run from it. Most people, the moment it gets hard, they fold. They back away. They think life's unfair, and maybe it is. But what they don't see is that life isn't supposed to be fair, it's supposed to develop you. Ease tricks you into thinking you've made it when you haven't. It wraps you in a blanket and makes you forget how cold the world can be. But when you stay too long in that warmth, you start losing your hunger. You stop grinding. You stop reaching. You stop risking. And a man or woman without hunger, that's a person without direction, without fuel. You weren't built for easy. You were built to endure. I've seen it over and over again. People rise just enough to feel good, and then they stall. They start choosing the shortcut. They start looking for the applause instead of the assignment. They get addicted to likes instead of legacy. That's what ease does. It makes you believe the lie that good enough is good enough. But let me ask you something. How can you grow if you're not uncomfortable? How can you evolve if you're not being stretched? You think greatness comes without pain. You think champions are made in air-conditioned rooms, sipping water, getting pats on the back. No, champions are made when no one's watching, when it's just them, their will, and the voice in their head saying, keep going. Pain introduces you to parts of yourself ease never will. See, when you're comfortable, you lose the urgency. You forget why you started, you stop being grateful, you stop praying like you used to, you stop working like you used to, because comfort makes you forget that it can all be taken away. It makes you forget that the climb is never over. That you're never too good to be humbled, and when that humility comes knocking, and it will, you better hope your foundation wasn't built on pillows. Now I'm not saying burn yourself out. I'm saying don't run from the hard. Lean into it. Embrace the discomfort, because every time you do, you're building something. Every rep, every rejection, every hard conversation, every sleepless night, it's doing something to you. It's chiseling you into who you were always meant to be. Don't pray for easy, pray for strength. Don't wish it didn't hurt. Get strong enough to endure it. Growth lives on the edge of what's uncomfortable. And most people never get there because they spend their whole life trying to avoid pain. But pain is part of the process. It's the fee you pay to get better. It's the signal that you're getting closer. No pain, no depth, no pressure, no power. So when life gets tough, good, that means you're in the right place. That means you're not coasting. That means you're alive. You weren't made to be numb. You weren't made to be still. You were made to be refined. Ease will have you watching from the sidelines. Struggle will make you a player. Comfort keeps you in the stands. Pain puts you on the field, so don't fear hard. You respect it, because when it shows up, it's not here to break you. It's here to build you, push through the pain, grow through the grind. Just because you're moving doesn't mean you're making progress. A lot of people are running in circles, burning energy, working hard, but not working smart. It feels good to be busy. It gives you the illusion that you're getting somewhere. But if you're not intentional, all that motion becomes noise, and at the end of the day, you're exhausted, but nothing's changed. No new doors opened, no ground covered, just movement. You ever see a rocking chair? It moves all day long, forward and back, side to side, but it stays in the same spot. That's how some of us live our lives, answering emails, jumping from one task to another, saying yes to everybody, showing up everywhere, but never asking ourselves why. What am I moving toward? What am I actually building? What is this hustle really costing me? We confuse motion with momentum, but momentum only matters when it's going in the right direction. If you're climbing the wrong mountain, it doesn't matter how fast you go, you're still off course. And it's hard to admit that. It's hard to pause and say, I've been doing all this work, but it's not aligned with who I am or where I want to go. That kind of truth requires courage, but that's the kind of honesty that can change your life. We're living in a world that celebrates busy. You ask somebody how they're doing, they say, "Man, I've been busy." Like that's a badge of honor, but busy isn't the goal. Productive isn't the goal. Purposeful, that's the goal. Are you doing things that actually matter? Are you moving with intention? Or are you running because standing still makes you uncomfortable? Sometimes we stay busy to avoid the hard questions. We fill up our calendars so we don't have to face what's really missing. And we lie to ourselves, "I'm grinding, I'm hustling, I'm making moves." But deep down we know we're just hiding from the silence, hiding from the truth, hiding from the decisions we're afraid to make. See, progress requires clarity. You have to know where you're going. You have to define the win. Otherwise, you'll keep moving, keep spinning, keep doing things that feel urgent but aren't important. You'll sacrifice what's essential, chasing what's immediate. You'll say yes to everything and end up serving nothing. Not your dream, not your values, not your soul. You've got to stop and ask yourself, what am I really chasing? Is it approval? Is it money? Is it control? Or is it meaning? Because the truth is, some of the most successful looking people are the most lost. They've mastered motion, but they have no direction. They can't sit still. They can't breathe, because if they stop moving, they'll have to deal with what's underneath. Progress doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It's discipline. It's structure. It's saying no to things that look good so you can say yes to things that are great. It's focus. You want to grow, learn to focus, learn to cut the noise, learn to ask yourself at the end of every day, what did I actually move forward today? What seed did I plant? What weakness did I confront? What step did I take, however small, toward who I'm becoming? Don't get caught up in activity. Anybody can stay busy. That's easy. Progress is harder. Progress is deliberate. It requires planning. It requires reflection. It requires rest too, because rest isn't laziness. It's strategy. The bodybuilder doesn't grow in the gym. He grows in recovery. So if you're always grinding, always pushing, always moving, you might be blocking your own growth. The goal isn't to impress people with how fast you're moving. The goal is to become so aligned, so grounded, that every step you take is rooted in purpose, that your work means something, that your time reflects your values, that your actions are building something bigger than just noise. So slow down, not to stop, but to aim, to recalibrate, to ask yourself the most important question, am I just active or am I advancing? You've been given something special. Don't ever doubt that. There's something inside you that nobody else on this earth has. Call it talent, call it a calling, a gift. It doesn't matter what name you give it. What matters is whether or not you respect it enough to develop it. Because let me tell you something, a gift with no discipline is just wasted potential. And the world is full of people with potential they never prepared. Full of songs that were never written, books that were never started, ideas that never made it past a daydream. Don't be one of those stories. See, a gift can open the door, but discipline is what keeps you in the room. It's not enough to be talented. It's not enough to be good. You've got to be ready, ready when the opportunity shows up, ready when the stage is set, because if you're not ready, someone else will be. And when that moment comes, you don't get time to go back and practice. That's why preparation is not optional. It's your responsibility. Don't wait to be discovered. Stop looking around, waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder and tell you it's your time. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to crown you. You've got to develop yourself in silence. You've got to work when no one's watching. You've got to study when nobody's clapping. Because when your moment comes, and it will come, you don't rise to the occasion, you rise to the level of your preparation. Everybody wants the platform, few want the process, Everybody wants the light. If you want to build the fire that shines, but it's in the process where your gift becomes power. It's in the quiet, uncomfortable, unseen hours that you stretch, you sweat, and you sharpen. That's when your gift gets depth. That's when it gets weight. That's when it stops being something you have and becomes something you own. Now hear me. Your gift might not look like anybody else's, and that's a good thing. Stop comparing. Stop measuring your timing by someone else's clock. Your gift doesn't need validation. It just needs development. You don't need applause. You need practice. Let them overlook you. Let them sleep on you. Let them think you're not a threat. While they talk, you train. While they rest, you build. Because one day that door will open. And when it does, they won't understand how you walked through it like you were born to be there. That's preparation. That's discipline. You've got to protect your gift. That means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, not just cheer for you. People who correct you, not just compliment you. Because development doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in pressure. It happens when someone says, you can do better. And instead of getting offended, you get focused. Some of you are sitting on gold, but you treat it like dust. You have ideas, vision, instinct, voice, but you're waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The time is now. Prepare like you already got the call. Train like the stage is being built. Work like your name is already being mentioned in rooms you haven't stepped into yet. Because when that moment arrives, the one you've been praying for, the one you've cried over, you want to be able to stand in it, not shake under it. Your gift will make room for you. That's a promise, but don't think the room will stay open forever. You've got to be ready to walk in and own that space. You've got to be strong enough to carry the weight of the opportunity. Otherwise, it'll crush you. Talent can get you noticed, but only character and preparation can keep you there. So build now. Train now, sharpen now, not because people are watching, but because you believe in what's inside you. That gift, that fire, that vision, it was given to you for a reason. It's not a mistake, but it is your job to honor it. Be developed, be ready. Everybody wants something. Everybody's got a dream. They talk about it. They post about it. They tell their friends, their followers, their families, but let me tell you the truth. A dream without a plan is just a wish, and a wish won't change your life. A wish won't move the needle. A wish is what you whisper at midnight and forget by morning. If you want your dream to become something real, something solid, you better attach some goals to it. You better get serious, because life doesn't reward what you want. It rewards what you work for. You want to fly, that's beautiful, that's powerful, but first plant your feet. Before you take off, you need direction. You need structure, you need a runway, and that starts with a goal. Not just any goal, a clear one, a written one, something you can measure, something you can break down, because vague dreams lead to vague results. You say, I want to be successful. What does that mean? What does success look like for you? How will you know when you get there? That's the problem. Too many people are in love with the idea of their dream, but not the process of building it. They want the finish line, but don't want to train for the race. You say you want to write a book, start a business, lose weight, fix your life. Great, but where's the plan? What time do you wake up? What are you sacrificing? What are you prioritizing? If you can't answer that, then you're just dreaming. And dreaming by itself won't change your life. Execution will. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you do need a step. Just one. You write the goal down, then you ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to get closer to that? And then tomorrow, you do it again. Small steps every day, that's how mountains move, that's how giants fall, that's how ordinary people do extraordinary things. One clear goal, one consistent action at a time. The problem is, people get discouraged. They want it fast, they want it to show up without the struggle, but anything worth having takes time. It takes failing, it takes adjusting, it takes discipline, and that's why goals matter. Because when your emotions get tired, when motivation runs out, and it will, Your goals keep you anchored. Your goals remind you why you started. Your goals give you something solid to push against when everything else feels shaky. So what's your goal? Have you written it down? Have you mapped out the steps? Or are you still just dreaming, hoping it'll fall into your lap? Because it won't. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to structure your life around that goal. That might mean waking up earlier. That might mean cutting out distractions. That might mean losing some sleep, losing some friends, losing some comfort. But if the dream is real, if it's in your bones, then you'll do what it takes. You'll stop chasing ease and start chasing execution. Every successful person you admire, they didn't just have dreams, they had systems. They had vision, yes, but they had structure to support that vision. They didn't just work hard, they worked smart. They didn't just hope, they planned. You can do the same. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to be committed. You just need to say, this is what I want. This is what I'll do, and here's how I'll do it. And then move. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. But take the step, write the goal, break it down, schedule it, track it, adjust it. Just don't sit on it. Don't let another year go by where you're still talking about what you want to do. Don't let another week pass where you confuse dreaming with building. Because one day you'll wake up and there won't be time left. One day you'll run out of some days. And all you'll be left with is a list of things you wished you started. So start now. Set the goal. Write it down, break it down, then move. Stop chasing applause. Start building impact. That's where the shift has to happen. We live in a time where everybody's addicted to being seen, to being liked, to being followed, but here's the truth. Likes don't build legacy. Followers don't equal foundation. You could have 1 million people clapping for you today, and not one person remembering you tomorrow. Because likes fade, fame is fragile, attention is a wave and waves crash, but impact, that's different. Impact stays, it sinks deep. It shows up in how people remember you, not how loud they cheered when you were on stage. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be impressive, or do you want to be meaningful? Because those are two different roads. One leads to temporary praise, the other leads to lasting purpose. One feeds the ego, the other feeds the soul, and that choice defines the difference between popularity and purpose. The problem is, it's easy to get caught up in the spotlight. It feels good to be praised. It feels good when the comments roll in, when the followers grow, when people recognize your name. But if that becomes your fuel, you'll start performing instead of living. You'll start measuring your worth by reaction instead of character. And slowly, without realizing it, you'll trade depth for attention. You'll start saying what gets clicks instead of what carries weight. You'll show what looks good instead of living what is good. But here's the truth. When it's all said and done, people won't remember your likes. They'll remember how you made them feel. They'll remember what you gave, how you served, what you stood for. They'll remember the example you set. That's legacy, and legacy doesn't require a stage. Legacy shows up in your family, in your community, in the quiet things no one ever sees. You want to leave something behind, build something real, build with integrity, build with love, build with consistency, and don't just build your name, build people, because buildings crumble, trends die. But the seeds you plant in people's hearts, those live on. That's how you outlive your own lifetime, not by going viral, but by going deep. Look around. Everybody's performing, curating, editing, filtering their life for a moment of applause. But what if you stopped performing and started becoming? What if you stopped seeking attention and started seeking alignment? What if your success wasn't about how loud the world clapped, but how deeply your presence changed the lives around you? Legacy is quiet. It doesn't always get a headline. It doesn't always look shiny, but it's powerful. It shows up when your child learns from your example. When someone you mentored rises and says, "They believed in me when no one else did." When a stranger's life is better because of a decision you made with integrity, That's the stuff that matters. You don't have to be famous to be great. You don't have to be seen to be significant. Some of the most powerful people to ever walk this earth didn't chase attention. They chased obedience. They chased impact. They chased purpose. And now, years later, we speak their names with reverence, not because they were trending, but because they were true. So check your motive. Ask yourself why you do what you do. Are you building a moment, or are you building a movement? Are you feeding your ego, or are you feeding someone else's hope? Because when the cameras stop, when the crowd leaves, when the likes slow down, what's left? What's real? Don't live to be remembered for the noise you made. Live to be remembered for the lives you changed. You've only got so much time. Make it count. Pour yourself into something that will outlive you. Use your gift not to get applause, but to build something eternal. Live for legacy, not attention. If something in this video hit you deep, don't just feel it. Apply it. Your gift, your purpose, your future. It all starts with the steps you take after this moment. So don't scroll away and forget it. Reflect, plan, move. If you're serious about growth, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join a community that's not just dreaming. We're building. Drop a comment below. What spoke to you most today? Let's grow together, and remember, fall forward, stay hungry, and always live for legacy.